Hello, and welcome to a new video, dear trading friends. Today it's about the tutorial of the Smart Money Concepts Indicator, a very interesting thing. I will show you a second indicator where you can filter out a lot of false signals. What is the Smart Money Concepts Indicator? It actually only gives you signals for structure trading, like price action, just like the professionals do. In other words, it shows you when we have a structural break. When do we have the continuation of a structure? Where do we have discount zones? Where do we have order blocks that we can use? And there are a few things to keep in mind. If you stick to this, you can get really good trades with damn good entries. What is very ingenious here is that you can set alerts for all these things for structural breaks. For structural breaks, when you get into discount zones, when fair value gaps occur, which are usually very bullish or very bearish, but they are displayed in color. That means you don't have to go through the chart, but you can say, I don't have a trade open right now, I'll set this alarm, and when it comes, I'll look at the chart and see, okay, everything fits for me right now, and then enter a trade or not. I don't know how long this will take again. It's a bit, how should I put it, more to explain. I want you to really understand the indicator, because when you see it now, you probably think, chaos, so many things, so many letters and what else is there. But once you know what everything means, then you'll say, okay, I understand that. And then you actually have this visual view of what the professionals actually do when they look at the chart normally. Real professionals hardly ever trade with indicators. But simply look at the price action at the chart. Where are the lows? Where are the highs? Where do I have new entries when new liquidity is picked up and things like that? But now we're getting to that. I'll show you which indicators you need. I'll show you the settings. And if this doesn't get too long, but I think it might be interesting, I'll just go into replay mode and then show you, as if it were live trading, how I would proceed, when I would enter where, when I would exit where, and how these signals come about. I'm already a little bit in there with screen monitoring, you see, and please don't be shocked if it looks so catastrophic here now. So many order blocks, so many letters and the like. It's really just, so these things, if you understand them, you know what they mean and you'll love them, that these things are coming. As for indicators, I don't think I need to say much. Smart, money, here we already have the concept of LuxAlgo anyway. We'll take that one in, then we'll take that one in as well. This is very important. Money flow oscillator. If you enter Enhanced Money Flow Oscillator by Vitaly Arparinia, from Immortal Free, that's actually the producer, you also include it, and I also have the RSI for myself, simply to see when we are in a very oversold or undersold market. I also have it in there. In the case of the money flow indicator, a short setting, and it will look like this at the beginning. If you have a dark chart, then you still have everything dark at the bottom. I have the light chart. That's why I set it that way. Nothing more. I didn't do much to the RSI either, just changed the style, the RSI color, and made it a bit thicker and put out the RSI-based ME, and that was it. I've actually left the Smart Money Concept Indicator as it is, and will come straight to the individual settings that you can make there. As a brief explanation, what is available here? There are always premium and discount zones here, which are at the bottom. Maybe I won't leave that. I'll briefly turn off the order blocks so that you can see it better, because the order blocks are currently a bit higher. This is actually always our trading area. This is always the current trading area where we are in it. That is, we have discount zones, we have premium zones, and we have this average value here. Discount zones are often tested, they can still be pushed more down by retested again, but these are actually targets where we say we are getting out of our position or using them as reversals. And that's what exactly happened here. We simply had this bullish break in the structure upwards. You can see that in the green candle color. I'll show you in a moment how to adjust it on the chart. And here we tested it at the top before we went down again. But that doesn't mean we're going down again. And that's it. No, we've actually had a structural change here. So that you perhaps know exactly what this looks like, I'll show you the settings briefly now. For the people who don't know, I'll now include the order blocks, which are very interesting, because the next big order block, where we say we really have more bearish signs, is this one above, which means that the premium zone can be extended even further, but it is enough to close the position and possibly enter a new one. I'll also show you why then, so that you understand how this indicator works. First of all, If you have the indicator inside, please go to visual order and bring it to the front. The problem is that if you don't have it at the top here, your candle color will not be displayed if you do this in the setting. I would now like to go briefly about the scripts so that I can show you that. What it looks like, what is structure trading, what is price action. In this case, we have this revaluation structure as it is displayed here, and then you will already see if this structure is continued, this is displayed with a break of structure, BOS. If this revaluation structure is terminated, this is displayed by a change of character, CHCHR. In this case it is red, and then it is usually the case that after such a change of character, but also after such a break of structure, we go up again and pick up the liquidity here, then it goes down further. There it is actually shown in a pattern. I would like to say that we have a break of structure again. We form a new lower low, followed by next step with a higher low, and get the liquidity from the break of structure, then it goes down again. And you can imagine that this works. Of course, it's not always one-to-one perfect. That we pick up the new liquidity here, and go down further, but then we still have the order blocks. You can see the string points here and, but look through it. I'll just explain it to you now how it works. I don't want to read through everything now, because it's quite simple anyway. What I want to show you now, in this case, we are now sending an hourly chart. We see here, we had the change of character. In this case it shows this here. It went down again afterwards, picked up liquidity here in this blue order block, and then went up. Now we have had this way up here. We have had this break of structure here. So not only have we gone down here now and picked up liquidity at the bottom, we have gone up at the break of structure. And if you look closely, you can see that we have picked up liquidity here again after the break of structure, which means that you don't always have to get in here immediately, but you could simply say, I'm now setting a limit order. I'm doing it all away again here. We've had the break of structure here. I'm now going to place a limit long order, maybe not exactly on the line, but a little above it, and say, okay, I want a limit long order here, and I want to continue. That's what I mean by picking up liquidity. And that works in a bullish phase as well in a bearish phase. Perhaps we have another example, which is sometimes a little bit bigger, sometimes a little bit smaller. Here, for example, we've had the change of character here. You can, and as I said, it's always a choice afterwards how you proceed. After the bullish uptrend, we didn't have another one, so that was actually our higher highs, higher lows, and then we didn't manage to form new highs, and we've already started to have lower highs. In this case, this was broken. You could of course say, I enter every change of character immediately, then the money flow indicator comes in, which confirms to you, could you, should you, whatever. Because the money flow indicator immediately shows, now, money is flowing into the market, look what is at the top of the chart, and now money is flowing out of the market, and look what is at the bottom of the chart, and that is very, very interesting. Just to false signals, we then immediately come to false signals that you filter them out. But now it is also the case here that we have gone down here. But look, that we have tested the change of character again, even twice. Before it really went down further, and we had the break of structure here, where we had the structure continuation. As I said, it only shows this visually. We then have EQL. What are EQL? These are simply two equal, EQH in this case, two constant highs, which are actually also an empirical structure. And if we look at this briefly in the chart replay mode here, what that just looked like, I probably also have to say that here, if we go back even further, you can imagine that we may have had a discount zone here so that we are bounced here. But we'll see in a minute. No, here we had a very tight discount zone, but we had this bullish order block that was here. Just so that you can see what it looks like live. Of course, it's always easier to say that on the chart afterwards. But just so that you can see, okay, we've tested this bullish order block here. Got the reversal that we said before, picked up more liquidity here at the top, and then it continued downwards. That's exactly how it would be traded. In this case, as you can see, we have had another bullish order block here, bearish structural break, which means that you can continue to trade here. The money flow indicator also shows that we are still taking money out of the market, and then you just have to look, okay, do I take the order block? Do I take a discount zone? When does the money flow indicator turn? Then that would be an area to take profits. In this case, the question is now, do you wait until you reach the discount zone, the green one here, Or do you simply take the order block a little further out? In that case, I would have said that would be more than enough. You have to look at it now. If you had taken this right away, it would have been 4.98%. If you had taken it with the limit, as I explained, it would have been 6.3%. In other words, easy money. Take it all, close it, and you're done. Even if it goes down further, as you can see now. We have now actually tested the discount zone again, but really exactly. We have to see. Money flow seems to be going up. Let's see what the chart does next. Well, in that case, it continues to go down, has formed another new low, and let's see how it continues. Everything shows it is still bearish. Actually, according to the candle, now a structure book has shown here. That means, of course, you could have taken a little more profits with you, but it's always dangerous when you have made a quite good percentages. You should take them, that's never wrong. Let's take this example. What are good entry points? What are concepts where you can say, I want that? We have a really perfect example here. You can set alerts here. I mean alerts. You really have any kind of smart money concept that you can have? Any. That you go into a bearish order block, that you have a bullish structure break, a bearish structure break, a fair value gap, and so on. You can set alerts for all of that. As a small example, which is now an incredibly good entry, you get an alert because the chart enters an order block. That would be the first thing. Then you get an alert for a fair value gap. Let's get to what that means. Very, very interesting, because when they come, it's usually, I'd say, almost 90%, already 80, 90%, that it's going to go up further. Or if it's red, if we find one somewhere, that it's going to go down further. Here, for example, we had this bearish fair value gap, and then the bearish structure break, and here you can see that it has gone down further. Now we already have two bullish signs. So actually a bullish change of character, where we were already in an order block before that, which could have been used. We also picked it up again before or after, then went up, had a break of structure, a fair value gap, and this bullish order block. So when all three alerts appear, there is actually no reason why you shouldn't go long with a position. You can do the same with the discount zones, and then look for the high, where is my premium zone, or where is an order block. In this case, I could really imagine that we say we have picked it up, go a bit higher, have a higher high, followed by a lower high, another higher high. I have said that we have picked up this liquidity here, and should we not now form another high and break through it, but that it might look like we will see this again, that we will now proceed in this way and perhaps have a lower high and then go lower again. Then there would be another structural break, approximately. Then a new bearish structural break would be indicated here, which would probably be picked up, and then it would continue downwards. That's price action trading, as I see it. Maybe now, we have 13 minutes now in this video. I'm just wondering if I've forgotten. You're welcome to ask me more questions. If you still have some questions, maybe we can do it in a live video where I can show you or I answer in the comments. But it's beautiful here again, you've seen it. So the change of character has picked up liquidity again and has actually formed new higher highs and higher lows until it no longer achieved this, and then formed further lower highs and lower lows. That's just the way it is. I've now said, maybe if you still want to watch, I'll make it very short again. Let's just do the last day in replay mode. We are now on the 1 hour chart so that we can perhaps do this in fair play. We'll go into replay mode and take a look at the 20th/7th at 0 o'clock. To go in. But just so I don't know how, what, when, where, let's just go to the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart and load the smart money content a little short to the settings. You don't need to do much here. Historical simply means that you see everything from the past, and present means that you only see the current situation. Color candles, I think, is self-explanatory in that you get these bullish and bearish structural breaks displayed in the form of colors. Otherwise, I would also include the equal highs and equal lows, and the fair value gaps, which are very important. And don't forget premium discount zones, because if you don't tick them, you won't have them. But they are very, very meaningful. I think I forgot that earlier. Otherwise, you don't really have to do anything. Let's just take a look at how I would proceed. 5-minute chart, as I said, you can really also trade this on small time frames. Where are we now? What are we here? We're almost at midnight, exactly, at 0 o'clock. Let's say at this time I've just switched on the chart and want to make a trade now. I see that we had a bullish change of character, but we were somehow rejected here, and the money flow indicator below is currently showing me that we have a money flow, outflow. This means that money is going out, it's going even further out, and now it seems to be coming back in, even though we're now in positive territory. For me, this is what we have here, and what I also said before, in the current example in the hourly chart, that we actually have a bullish order zone here. That could of course be, I would now say, I'm just going to go long. You have that here in numbers. I don't know how much. About 220 Zen. But it doesn't matter. Just so that you have some figures to mess the results. I would go long in this case, and just see what happens next. Maybe we go down even further. That can always happen, of course. Nothing is perfect. Even further, maybe it was just a mistake. No, it just picked up even lower zones and is now actually going up. If it breaks through this area now, this high here, then it would probably be a break of structure here, exactly as it is now. That's what I'm saying with the price action trading. That is, for me, a bullish sign is extended, the money flow indicator is still bullish as well. That means I'm not going to do anything yet, which I'm not closing now, we're going to continue. But now it's getting exciting, because we are in the bearish order blocks. Discount, so the premium zone is still higher, but it's not always that I take the premium zone, but look at where we are now. RSI is already going up, the money flow indicator is still going up. And then I always look back at the chart to see where we were here. Well, we might still have a few highs that we can reach here, so it's not really bearish yet. Let's see what happens. Of course, we can go down again and pick up liquidity and then move on, so that we continue the trend as I explained earlier, but it's actually going to go higher. Let's see. Okay, now it's getting exciting, so it's actually a nice upward trend. But now I'm saying that the RSI is getting exciting, because we're very, very far up. We just have to look at where we were in the past. If I look at it, you can see very strong support here. There was resistance here again, where we were actually bought up pretty damn high, where we tried to do that. In that case, I would simply take out half of the position and see what happens. Where we are here, okay? Now we have this area here. If we don't hold it now, exactly. We won't hold it in this case. I would simply close now. Of course, you could say I'm not greedy and just go. It could be that we pick it up and move on, but I'm not taking any risks here. I just want to take my profits and see what happens. Now we have a negative money flow here, but we are actually testing the bullish order block again at the moment. Let's see what happens here. Goes further up here, goes further down here. I would actually open a long again now that the money flow and where we have actually only tested it. We should, okay. No, I wouldn't, because the money flow indicator below is still bearish, which means we still don't have any money flowing in. Now it's getting interesting again. Now I would open a long again, for example, because we simply have these zones here where we're retesting. For him it's still bullish. In my opinion, that would already be bearish. Bearish structure. But in this case, we've just tested it now. Let's just see what happens. He says, here you can actually see now. Well, that was almost perfectly hit. That it continues here. Money flow indicator. Which, as I have already indicated earlier, new money is coming into the market, is going up. We'll also see how it goes on. You see, it's going up even further. We're now looking even further at what has happened here in the past. And the question is always when to close. When to close. In this case, we haven't moved that far away from these premium zones, but the RSI was already very high again in this case. The money flow indicator, you would have to test that now, is going down a bit. But of course it could be so that we simply pick up new liquidity here and then continue to go up. That would be the structural continuation, in which case we are okay. It also looks very good again. Okay, for me it would be to close up there. Of course we can go much further now. I'll just take half out of the position again. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get a new high, next candle. Let's go a little higher again. A little higher again here. In that case I wouldn't be greedy either. That is, for me it would be now. I could take half out again now. Just look now. No. Okay. We now have a bullish order fair value gap here, which is also very exciting again, which means you can actually see live now how you can proceed here. But now it would be for me. Let's give it 1 or 2 more chances. Okay, no. I would close this now. No matter what else happens, I have taken profits again. Why? Money flow index, here below the oscillator, shows that we have gone bearish, which means we have exited perfectly. Of course it may turn around now, in which case it does. But you are not taking any risks here either. You will never trade perfectly. Get out and get in, I say. And let's just see how it is going forward. It's actually doing another bullish order structure, as far as this is concerned. Going down now, bullish order block, what it's going into. You can see here, money flow index is actually consolidating a bit right now, not really showing any direction. We have a bearish structure. We are still in the order block, but have a bearish order block above it, in which case, we have now also seen that we have formed a new high with the premium zone and are going down further here. It could now be that we take advantage of this, but I wouldn't go short yet, because the money flow indicator is actually going up right now. If it then breaks down again, that was already the case here. I will simply enter a short order here again and then see what happens. To see what we do, in this case, we continue to go up. We hopefully only pick up new liquidity, because the change of character that we have here, where I've said it before, I've actually always said it before, right now we're not sticking to it, that we pick up this liquidity again, which is the change of character, before it can then go down further. Of course, there is no guarantee, okay? That was actually a prime example of this. Let's see, it's going down even further. We've already tested the discount zone. I would definitely have taken something out now. Money flow indicator, unbelievable what it's doing right now. I would get out of here now. I wouldn't really do anything, not really go any further, just get out, the whole position. And that's it. Too bad that I'm down here. Normally with a limit order I would set that. But of course it could be that we go much further down now. I wouldn't risk anything in that case. We're 5 minutes, too bad. It's actually very, very pleasant. You now have so many chances a day so that you can get in here. We're already at 20, 8 o'clock, 15. I'll go on here. I'm just speeding this up so that it doesn't get quite so boring. We'll see at the end of the day what the result was. So now we have a new bullish structural break. Let's see what happens. We were actually just bullish here with the money flow indicator. We might pick up the bottom here. Have here, I'm going to go long again. Because we're back to the order block here. Whether I'm right or not, we'll see in a moment. Bullish fair value gap going up again. So I almost have to say, it's almost as if I had somehow cheated or something, if you remember that from the PlayStation. No, but actually, that would be for me now again. Out of the position, at least I would sell half of it. See what happens next. Normally, if I say, okay, I want to have my piece, then I would close it all right away. You can see the money flow indicator very high here. We have the RSI very high here. I don't know how much more risk you would take. I'll just flutter now. That means I've now taken another position in the profit. Of course, it may be that it goes much further, but some things have also gone further. We could have made some more percentages. You can see that here. But nothing is perfect. You're seeing it live now, as it is. Let's see how it goes on. Next structural break. Money flow indicator is now turning negative. We have a bearish structural break. So no structural break yet, but bearish fair value gaps, which are very interesting. Now a structural break should actually come here, which in my opinion, if we look at it closely, has actually already happened long ago. We have not formed a higher high market, but a lower high market. If you look at it closely, 5 minutes on the chart, why you could actually have gone short here much earlier. But we'll just let the indicator decide now and say, okay, that you can see, actually it has. That was actually just me looking at the long term. We've actually just picked up liquidity and are continuing to go up really well in terms of that. If we look further, maybe still, the video is already long, I know, but I will see that I come to an end. Bearish structural break. In my case, money flow goes down. I would just test it now with a sell order. See what happens. Actually looks quite nice. Let's see how much further down it goes. Money flow indicator very far down. Now we have bullishness change of character, although I don't see it as bullish, but we will simply take note of it and close the position, take some profits again. Now we have bearishness change of character, plus we have this bearish money flow again. Now enter this short position again. Here it shows bearish break of structure, so break of structure. Let's see whether that fits, or whether we are simply taking a negative position. In this case, I have to be honest, although we are going down slightly, you can also draw it with the line here. For example, now, I'm already starting to think about closing, because we're just not going any lower. Now we have this bullish, you see, bullishness change of structure, money flow goes out, flattening, a negative position that we're taking with us here, and actually, sorry, I've forgotten that now. Because we are positive at the bottom, we could have already gone long here. I will now see if we test it again. This change of character, and if we test it again, money flow reverses. No, not. That would even have been a false signal. You see, fortunately I didn't take it. But maybe he's just picking up new liquidity. Okay, that's it. You can see here, an 88% hit rate, 192 US theater profit. That was just a small example of how it is when you apply it live. But I have to say, I haven't always done it as well as it has just worked. It was a pure coincidence with the Zen coin. I'll take a look at it. You have to take a closer look. I've actually traded it more often in 15 minutes, but SUI has also been very interesting. For example, altcoins are generally better. I would like to say that because they simply bring more percentages in motion. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will perhaps explain everything again in a live video or in a separate video. Because if you can do it, if you have mastered it, then you trade like the pros do. Price action, structures, structure breaks. Otherwise, thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and everything.